let's take a look at the elections in Mexico, which took place July 1st, and 94% of the votes are in, and it looks like Enrique Pena Nieto is going to win that election. He is with the Institutional Revolutionary Party. Now, that party was actually voted out of office back in 2000 because of corruption and the fact that they were authoritarian, and the country was just tired of it. But it looks like the party has been reelected into office, even though many people in Mexico are arguing that there might have been some fraud. Nieto is being accused of paying people for votes. Now, those are just accusations from his opponents, so let's keep that in mind. But let's look at the percentages. Nieto comes in with 38% of the votes. Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador comes in with 31% of the votes, and Josefina Vazquez Mota comes in with 26% of the votes.
Now, the vote buying would have to be tremendous for a 7-point differential. 7-point differential in politics is not a little, it's a ton, right? So, and Obrador refused to concede. That's what he did last time, but he'd lost by 0.5%. And in that case, I said, okay, look, I get it. And there was, big protests in the streets, etc. Now, when Obrador tried it this time around, schwang, wang, wang. Not that many people showed up because, dude, you got crushed. I mean, losing by 7 percentage points is fairly gigantic. So it appears that Nieto has won. In fact, when they said, look, how are you going to beat the ruling party, which came in third there, 26%, the one that was in charge? And how are you going to beat Obrador, who nearly won last time? Well, Nieto said, anybody can be beat.
People are concerned that, the same corruption that took hold of Mexico back when the PRI party was in power will happen again. Except, look, there is tremendous corruption in Mexico right now without the PRI party. So that's an issue that they have to solve, aside from which political, which group gets elected into office, right?
But hold on now. I think that people partly voted for corruption. I know that's a controversial thing to say, but understand, the main message I get out of this election is the ruling party, Calderon's party, you're fired. Okay, you did this stupid war on drugs, 50,000 people died, and it didn't work. And now when PRI was in charge, and that was for 71 years, they had a de facto agreement. Now, mind you, Vicente Fox was in the middle of Calderon and PRI, so, and he didn't do a war on drugs, etc. So it's a little complicated, a little bit more complicated than simply from PRI to Calderon. But nonetheless, they had some agreement with the drug cartels to some degree.
That they'll leave them alone.
And it kind of worked. I mean, it didn't work in that they kept selling drugs, but who cares? I mean, you're selling it to the U.S. That's U.S.'s problem, not Mexico's problem, right? And they were going to sell it no matter what anyway. And so I think that the Mexican people are kind of saying, well, number one, they're clearly saying, we don't want that stupid war on drugs. That was a terrible idea. We got killed, and we didn't see any benefits from it. And I think, number two, they're kind of saying, like, if you got to do what you got to do and somehow we get stability, we can live with it. So, and then at the same time, this guy, Nieto, keeps saying like, oh, don't worry, no corruption, plus I'll make sure we stabilize. I'm not sure you could do both of those things at the same time.
I'm skeptical of his claims because if you can remember, earlier we did a story about how Nieto said that he would stop pursuing these drug cartels. He said that he was much less concerned about finding these drug kingpins. So he said he'll leave them alone and hopefully things will kind of simmer down with this war on drugs. But at the same time, top officials with the Obama administration said that they're not buying it. They know that he'll play ball as soon as they ask him to play ball. So I'm really concerned about that. But also, people in Mexico are arguing that even though this political party was known for its corruption back in the day, they now have a democratic process in place that will limit the president's power, that will have essentially a system of checks and balances. Now, I'm very skeptical that that is actually going to deter someone from being authoritarian if that's what he's really trying to do. But look, the people have spoken. He received 38% of the votes.
And Anna, you're not getting it. He is young and looks attractive and is married to a soap opera star, so he's got to be one of us. Like Obama was one of us. He was young, attractive, energetic, etc. And that guy like that can't be for corruption. And every time I think of the line from Boss, what we want is change on the outside, continuity on the inside.